What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me here at the Underground. Tonight I wanted to show you my latest addition to the stack and why I'm starting to stack these different types of coins. So, for any of you who have been watching my videos lately, know for the last few months I have been stacking constitutional silver. Not only did I want to show everybody how quickly it adds up by buying a little here and there, but I seen a lot of value in constitutional silver as far as financially in the future and in the preparedness aspect for barterability. But, you know, with the way things are progressing and what's going on, I thought it would be good to also get, a different type of silver. And what I want to start building a little bit more of is my American Silver Eagles and Canadian Maple Leaves. I think whatever country you live in, having those sovereign government minted coins are very important. Now, luckily for me as an American, two of the most recognizable silver bullion coins on the planet are American Silver Eagles and Canadian Maple Leaves. They're really hard to fake because only the government has the molds to mint these. And that's why I think they're very important, because in any situation, most people aren't going to question the authenticity of an American Silver Eagle or a Canadian Maple Leaf. That was Amelia there you heard barking. But, and I really just wanted to add these to my stack to start building up some weight, because I have a lot of concerns about this year and the way things are progressing in our country. So, I added some extra American Eagles, and I actually picked up these Maple Leaves because I got a good deal on them, because it's hard to see, but on the outer edge, there's some milk spotting on them. So I went ahead and grabbed those, and with Canada being so close, I don't think it really matters whether I get a Silver Eagle or a Maple Leaf, but I do like the Eagles. And you do pay that little more premium, but if you ever go to sell them, you get that premium back. But by the time I ever hopefully go to sell these, they'll be worth so much that little premium I paid really won't matter. I see precious metals really skyrocketing in the near future if we have a serious economic downturn. So something else I just briefly wanted to mention was President Trump just did that speech in Davos, and and I'm not saying I'm for or against Trump, but I've mentioned before how obviously they can't come out and tell us we're heading into a severe economic downturn. And I really believe that they are well aware of this, because if they did tell us, obviously it would cause it to happen immediately. And I do get that. But what I have a problem with is, in this speech he just did, he went on talking about how this was the best economy in history. How American middle-class workers and consumers are wealthier than they've ever been. He said the bottom 40% of American working classes increased their net worth by 47% in the last 3 years. Us working middle class Americans don't really have a net worth. Cars are depreciating assets. I mean, houses, yeah, but no. And it really bothers me. Once again, they don't have to come out and say we're heading into a severe economic crisis, but don't sugarcoat a really bad situation and fool the masses, because that's what's happening, and it's only going to make things worse. I mean, the best economic time in American history, the Industrial Revolution was way better than now. You didn't have to have mother and father working, let alone a lot of, families are working 2-3 jobs. That's not the best economic in American history. In the best economy in American history, the Federal Reserve wouldn't be cutting rates just to keep the stock market and the economy afloat. They would be raising rates. You know, our government wouldn't be increasing the deficit by trillions of dollars. We would be decreasing our debts by billions, if not trillions of dollars, in the best economy in American history. And that's what I don't get when these people leave me comments like, you know, you're just spreading doom and gloom, everything's great, because it's quite obvious there are some core problems in our country right now. I mean, it just really bothers me. And, you know, they could probably say that a lot of Americans, you know, wages and what they bring in has increased in nominal value because of how inflation increases the prices of everything. I mean, $50,000 today buys you a lot less than $50,000 did 10, 20 years ago. So, you know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, a family could survive on $30,000 and probably live a pretty decent life. $30,000 right now is in the bottom tier of American households. So in nominal value, I could see how they might say wages increased. But in purchasing power and what that money's worth, we have been decreasing at a faster pace than probably in American history. So, you know, the situation is very dire, and the masses are being fooled by the way they manipulate words and manipulate these stats and manipulate the stock market, unemployment. I mean, the things go on and on and on. He went on in this speech to say how the American dream was dead until he became president, and now the American dream is back and alive better than ever. And that is so far from the truth, it is unreal. Look at millennials. Millennials and a lot of other people, not just millennials, you know, can't even come close to affording to buy a house. Now, don't get me wrong, there are ones out there that are. That doesn't mean everybody's excluded from it, but the majority of them, you know, can't get a job that, you know, could afford to support, you know, house payments or a mortgage. You know, and if the American dream was alive, you know, back when the American dream was alive, you went to school, you graduated, you got a good job, you could buy a house, you could put money away from retirement, you know, you still got to go on a couple vacations a year, and you could support your family without living paycheck to paycheck. And most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. They're stressing about bills. They're neglecting their health because the extra expenses to go to a doctor are just, you know, not a priority for a lot of families because they have to pay the bills. I mean, you got to have your basic utilities nowadays to live. So for him to say the American dream is back and better than ever, it really upset me. And, you know, once again, I'm not for or against Trump. I want any president that is president of the United States of America to succeed. I just don't like the lies and manipulations. I seen that video, and I honestly only watched about 7 minutes of it, and I had to shut it off because it was frustrating me so bad. And that's what I really can't stand. We have billionaires left and right coming out talking about how we need to prepare, how we need to be buying gold and silver. It was all over the internet this week how Ray Dalio did some interview and was basically out there saying, you know, cash is trash. It's not going to protect you heading into the future. We have, you know, Jeff Gundlach. He's the, you know, known as the Bond King, coming out there and saying when this economic downturn kicks in full effect, he doesn't believe he will be alive to ever see it recover. You know, Mark Cuban's out there, and, you know, he's the one that made billions of dollars in the .com stock market boom. So he's well aware of, you know, trends and technical analysis and things like that in the stock market. And he's made it quite clear that what is happening right now in the stock market is not what we want to see in a healthy stock market and in a healthy stock market boom. And he says it is quite obvious that stock market rally is over. Like, you know, this is just a ruse. It's the Federal Reserve printing all this money, you know, putting it into these markets to keep them afloat for now, for whatever the reason is. You know, maybe they just don't want to let it go, and the longer they let it go on, the more wealth they can accumulate. So they're prepared for, you know, how severe this possibly could be. You know, let's be honest, nobody really knows how bad things are going to get, and that's part of what makes it scary and why we need to prepare more than ever, and why I am, in a sense, switching up my silver stacking strategy, because I'm trying to accumulate right now as much as I possibly can. And this is how I look at it. It's my form of savings. Instead of keeping cash, I keep, you know, the silver. Think about how much value a $20 bill has lost in the last 50 years. You know, before 1971, a $20 was an American 1-ounce gold eagle, which is now worth around $1,600. So that right there shows you how much value a $20 in our country has, you know, lost its value as far as the fiat, you know, currency. If you would have bought with all the money you had, silver or gold, the last 50 years, you would be a millionaire right now. If you saved that in fiat currency, you'd be lucky to make it through your retirement. And that's just you know, an obvious example of how our dollar loses its value compared to precious metals. You know, the $20 I'm spending on an ounce of silver today, if I save that $20 bill, even if we don't have a massive economic downturn, 10 years from now, that $20 bill is going to probably be worth what about $1 is today. But if I buy this Silver Eagle with $20, I can only imagine the value that that Silver Eagle is going to have 10 years from now as far as, you know, the silver content. So I just wanted to make a little video about switching up my strategy, stress why I think it is very important that we are getting prepared, and if possibly able to, you know, stacking precious metals to protect your financial future. And, you know, once again, whether it happens this year, next year, 5 years from now, that's right around the corner. Think about how fast 5, 10, even 15 years goes by. I mean, it's like a blink of an eye. So even if it doesn't happen for a couple more years, it's going to be here before we know it. But I don't really believe we have that long. With the way things are going, it's just going to take one more domino to fall, and, you know, that could be it. And it's probably going to happen on a long holiday weekend or something like that. You know, we're going to go to sleep and wake up, and it's going to be all over the news how the, you know, American dollar is no longer the reserve currency, or who knows what, completely collapsed and got devalued. There's a million things that can cause it. Countries all around the world are starting their own exchange systems because we turned, you know, the world reserve currency into a form of economic warfare, and everyone is sick of possibly being the next target. So I don't know. For me, I just know getting prepared, stacking precious metals makes me feel safe, secure, and let me know I at least have a chance, and my kids have a chance moving into the future in this crazy world we live in. So I want to thank everybody for listening. Don't forget about the giveaways. I've been here at 400 and something for a while, but that's okay. When we get to 500, we got some awesome silver giveaways going on. If you haven't subscribed, please do already. And please, everybody, keep prepping. Have a good night.